Hello, my friends. This is Andy coming to you live from Yorba Linda, California for the Andy Falco Show. Today, we're going to be discussing the school board meeting wrap up from December and the hostile takeover of PYLUSD by the California Teachers Association. Part one. Yeah, so this is just going to be part one because there is so much that happened in not only that day, but there was an emergency meeting. It may have been the following day or the day after, to immediately remove, in an attempt to remove Dr. Alex Chernus, Dr. Gates, and apparently five other administrators from the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. And I'm a little tongue tied because it's a little strange that. Which I'm going to share with you. That is exactly the opposite of what they told you they wanted to do when these two, well, I would say two tyrants, but the three tyrants total, wanted to do with our school board. And I will explain a little bit more of that to you. But let's just look at the players that came in and the one that was still there in our Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District. And here we have Marilyn Anderson, who got reelected. We got Tricia Quintero, who got newly elected, and Carrie Buck, who we just can't seem to get rid of. She's like a cockroach. She just will not go away. All three of these people are controlled by Planned Parenthood, the NEA, the CTA, and the APLE, mostly the CTA, who kind of manages the cabal of nonsense that's happening in the state of California. And why that's important for you to understand is because as I want to make sure that's always clear, because I never know if there's going to be new people watching or not. But the one thing you need to know is in California, out of the 50 states in the United States of America, California is 40th and 49th at the bottom, and second to last in security, and then 40th in education out of all the states. And why? Because California Teachers Association has had control of school boards, executive staff, which includes superintendents and teachers, and of course control of Sacramento. So you have this teachers union cabal of people, which is a number of smaller teachers union, which every district seems to have, and then which is all CTA. Don't let them fool you. And then you have the California School Board Association, which is another arm of the CTA. So I want to make sure that that's clear. So just going back, let me go back to that slide. You have these three people who are completely and utterly controlled by the teachers union cabal, which includes all the people below and all the people that I told you about, the organizations. Now, don't get me wrong, because many people do get us wrong. When we talk about the teachers union, we're not talking about teachers individually, because teachers individually, some of them are amazing, some of them are okay. Some of them are below okay, and then some of them are just simply crazy. We have about two or three at every school, it seems, in the school district here. Esperanza seems to have a larger number than the rest. You got some at Brookhaven that I know for a fact because they show up at the school board meetings and they cuss at people and yell at people and are just lunatics. And then we have, of course, Golden. We've seen some of their teachers on the side of the CTA. So each school seems to have two or three. Those are the people I'm talking about. When we're talking about tyrants and lunatics and just really crazy people, immature, most of them are children. Two of which that are trustees on our school board, which is apparently, which I'll explain later, is Tricia Quintero and Marilyn Anderson. Buck seems to be a little bit more mature, but she still has some childish ideas. So let's go to my first proof of evidence of the hypocrisy, which is just really that is the Democratic Party. It's the Democrat in another world means hypocrisy or hypocrites, because here is their flyer. Their flyer says, "Save our schools, stop the lies." Stop wasting tax dollars. Stop playing politics. Save our principles. Save our school culture. And it has these three nitwits down here: Quintero, Anderson, and Jansen. Just that mean they mean none of that, because let's just go with where does it say stop in the blue? Stop the lies. So the flyer itself is a lie and has been a lie. There were no mass firings of teachers. There were no mass firings of principals and administrators. There wasn't any money being wasted. There was money being discovered. I think it was something like $43 million had been hidden by the previous administration from the community and used for special interest of the superintendents and the executive staff. And they didn't seem to care about that. There was a lot of things falling apart in the school district for years that had never been fixed. Air conditioning at gyms. You had classrooms that needed walls so that teachers didn't have to talk over each other and children have to talk over each other. You had a kitchen that needed to be repaired. You needed the education to be upgraded because we were having poor grades. We were well below the 50% of children, number of children that were able to meet the minimum standards. All of essentially the school district had been falling apart for decades. So nothing, let me go back to the flyer, on this flyer was true. There was no wasting of tax dollars in the last year because they were making improvements and fixing all those things I just said. They were not playing politics because they were doing only things that were in the best interest of children and the parents of the school district. Who knows what they're talking about there. There were two principals who didn't have their contracts renewed, and then you save our school culture. What culture is that? A culture of debauchery, drug use, fighting, LGBTQ nonsense, CRT, DEI, SEL. That's what they want to go back to. All of the stuff that was harming our children, all the things that they were using to divide our children, and a whole bunch of other things. So they ran on this campaign, those three people, Jansen, Anderson, and Quintero. Jansen, fortunately, the Yorba Linda parents, the parents in Yorba Linda seemed to be a lot more educated and understood the issues a lot better than seemingly the parents in Placentia and Fullerton. And so we voted Leandra Blades back in. So thank God, Misty Jansen. Can you imagine if Misty Jansen would have gone in? Can you imagine? Oh my God. I can't even imagine. So, but we were left with Marilyn Anderson and Quintero to join their buddy, Carrie Buck. So what's the first thing they do? Do you remember? Let me just go back to this. I'm going to go back to this a couple times. So see here, right here, where it says, stop wasting tax dollars and stop playing politics. Those two things in particular. Stop wasting tax dollars, stop playing politics, and in some ways, save our school culture, which I have no idea what they mean by that. Again, going back to debauchery. So the first thing they do when they come in, the very first thing that these idiots do when they come in is they vote in their first order of business. So the first order of business for the teachers union's minions was to spend $30,000 on the CSBA, the California School Board Association, and that is the membership. The only problem is that it does not include seminars and events and other things that they would go. Those are separate costs, including per diem and gas and all that other stuff, flights if they have to fly somewhere, like maybe to Sacramento. Essentially the price goes up to about $50,000 that they decided to spend of our tax dollar money. That has nothing to do with education, helping our kids, creating great programs, or things like maybe the USI or the Orange County School of Computer Science, or creating other innovative programs that may come this as that is not. They're spending $50,000 so they can have another arm of the CTA benefit the trustees, in the sense, give them talking points, give them training so that they can reinsert CRT, so they can bring back DEI, which the entire country has clearly voted against. The entire country, not just California. And so that is what they essentially want to do. So what is the CSBA? It is another political action committee, just like the CTA, and they actually are mostly CTA, influencers or people that came from the CTA. Because I'm just going to take you to one thing that will prove my point. Remember, we were talking about tampons in schools, and so this Assembly Bill 230, menstrual products and equity. There in the middle, it says that at least one men's restroom should have tampons at all times, which again, it's stupidity. But this is the CSBA, and you see down there where I have it highlighted where it says CSBA position approve. So there is a number of other ones that that go along with the CTA, but that just to give you an idea of what value, which is zero, what value we're going to get for our $50,000 that Marilyn Anderson, Tricia Quintero, and Carrie Buck quickly, and their first order of business was to waste tax dollar money so that they can learn how is it that we can get these tampon machines in all of the boys and men's restrooms in our school district. That is just one of many. How can we support, the state taking children when parents refuse to acknowledge their chosen gender as opposed to the gender they're born with? And that is what the CSBA. It's for trustees to get the same training as the teachers do from the CTA, so that they can further push their nonsense agendas into the executive staff. And so here it rears its ugly head. So now the second order of business is Tricia Quintero arguing that we no longer need queens and princesses at our schools' homecoming events. The king and queen thing is no longer acceptable. Because in her mind, women don't exist anymore. Just like the rest of the Democratic Party, liberals, or what have you, they don't even know what a woman is anymore. They put a Supreme Court justice on the court who doesn't know what a woman is. And so the first order of business is for Tricia Quintero to cancel out girls and the opportunity to be queens and princesses. And here we go. Here's the video to show you that.
With it.
Yeah. And my thing too, reading the email that was sent, at least the one that was forwarded to me, my issue with it was going back to a religious reason why it should be changed back. And that's not what we're here for. We're not here to debate religious beliefs. We're here to debate educational issues, So to me, reading that email, I'm like, this is not truly looking at a standpoint from just school, like you said, feelings being hurt, whatever it is. It went back to from someone's personal beliefs. And to me, that's not for us to debate. That's how they feel, that's fine, but that's not us to make a decision for that.
Yeah.
So that's going to go into a lot of different areas then.
But I think
A lot of different areas.
I don't know if I
about
would have
personal
said
beliefs.
I wouldn't have said personal beliefs, but I mean I look at it from.
So you see there, Tricia Quintero wants everybody to believe that this is not acceptable to make this decision of having only king and queen, because in her mind that's a religious issue, a Christian issue. And that is what the CTA gives her as the speaking point. The speaking point is that, hey, whenever they want to do something that makes sense or that has to do with morality or, right and wrong, then what you need to do, Tricia, is bring up religion. Tell them it has to do with their Christian extremism or it's only because of faith that they want to do this. No, Tricia Quintero, it has nothing to do with faith or them being Christian. This has to do with common sense. The entire United States, I would even venture to say the entire world, has had enough of the nonsense that there's 50 genders or one gender. I'm not even sure how to even look at this, because they want to essentially cancel out women. They don't think that women should have their own sport because they want boys now to compete against girls. They think that boys belong in girls' bathrooms. They think boys should be able to use the girls' locker rooms. And it is not a religious thing. This is a common sense issue where stupid people have decided that, you know what, we're just going to cancel out girls altogether. And make sure that they can no longer win, whatever it is, medals, trophies, get scholarships to universities, because instead we're going to have men compete. And this will make it impossible for women to break records. It'll make it impossible for women to succeed at a higher level. This is so bad that you have University of San Jose, which just recently was in the news a great deal over the last several months, where they had a boy on their team who was spiking the ball so hard that the girls couldn't return it. You could see that they were winning in every event that they went to. You had teams canceling because they were in fear for their safety when competing against the University of San Jose. And what happened yesterday, I believe, or the day before yesterday, is that 7 of the girls that are on the University of San Jose team, in other words, the same team, this boy was their teammate, where they were forced to probably cheer for them, to slap high fives, to change with him in their locker rooms. 7 girls have decided they're not returning to the University of San Jose. They are actually leaving that university because they feel that it was wrong. And so here you have Tricia Quintero, who is saying, no, this is all has to do with faith and religion. No, it has to some people it's about their faith, but to the world this makes no sense. It is stupid, actually stupid, to think that men and women are equal in the sense of strength, in the sense of the accomplishments, in the case of the things that they want to do going forward. And now you bring this to, and this is where it starts in the king and queen issue of homecoming. This has been like this for decades, when people were not stupid, when they did know that there was a difference between a man and a woman. And so this issue of now you can have, two or three kings and two or three princesses, but no longer any queens or princesses, is the beginning of affecting all these other things, where we begin to erase girls out of sports, out of achievement, out of whatever it is you want to call being elected by a whole school to be queen or king. That's what you need to have the criteria. The criteria is we need to select one king, we need to select one princess, or I'm sorry, one queen, one prince, and one princess. And that's the way it's going to be, because this is how life is. The life is broken up into two genders only: boy, girl, men, women. And no, people aren't stupid, Trisha Quintero. They know what you're trying to do. You know that just putting in the label on it that this is a religious thing is not a fact. This has to do with right and wrong, truth and a lie, and in the end, the safety of girls in a school. We need to stop blurring the lines, that there is no line, that they can just all shower together. They can just all, go pee together. Who really cares? Well, parents care, dads care, moms care. All right, let's go on to the next thing. This is just really quick before we end this video. The next thing is that this is a statement made by a parent to me, is that she or he heard from a very reliable source, and I don't know who that source was, said Trisha ran to exact revenge on Chernus for firing of Joey Davis. Well, let me just share with you a post from a person in Brea. This is somebody who has a child that goes to Brea-Olinda High School, and this is what their concern is, because they are seeing already the same problem with Joey Davis as we saw. So here we go. Here's this is from the Real Brea Real Brea Buzz, which I'm not a member of, but it says, "I'm genuinely concerned. I support Brea schools. I pour thousands of dollars into Brea. I have reached out for months, and it seems to be a topic of great secrecy. Brea High School hired a principal who was let go from a long career at El Dorado. He used profanity at a school board meeting and did not allow resource officers to do their job. This led to a fentanyl overdose on campus. There are similar patterns at Brea High School. My student has been reporting drug use and vaping in the Brea school bathrooms. To him and to me, I am genuinely concerned. Can anyone tell me what happened at El Dorado? Brea hired Joey Davis, who was unemployed. This part's not untrue. He wasn't employed for 2 years, and as a result, pays a significantly reduced salary to him. Is this at our students' expense? Thank you for encouraging me to post more detail. Please provide information, not excuses. Thank you." So this is Brea High School. Did I say Brea-Olinda? It was Brea-Olinda Unified School District. But Brea High School has this, again, and PYLUSD, he's the worst principal that in the 20 years that I have been here in the school district. So, and we pointed out why they did not renew his contract, at least as far as I understand. But the fact is that he did harass police officers, SROs at his school so badly that they filed a hostile work environment. And leading up to that, I had tons of emails and text messages and Facebook Messenger messages from parents saying, how can this guy still be the principal of El Dorado? So many bad things are happening. We've got fights almost every day. We have kids using drugs in the restrooms that is being reported, but nothing is being done. It just continues. We have fentanyl overdoses. We have all these problems, and we still have this guy as principal in our school district. Well, finally, his contract was not renewed. I don't understand all the dynamics, but he was given essentially what would look like a promotion to come to the school district and get a raise. He decided not to take it, and then Brea-Olinda hires him in spite of all the information that's publicly out there that he is a horrible principal. So now he's at Brea, and now he's doing the exact same thing. So how is it that Trisha Quintero believes that she's going to run a school board? Now, again, I don't know. This is just, again, these are parents talking, and this is something that they heard from, they claim from a very good source, that was one of her main reasons for running, because she apparently was in love with Joey Davis. But and called him beloved, like many of the other teachers union hacks do. But this is what she ran for, and this kind of makes you understand why it is that she makes a statement that she believes that that gender is a non-issue, that that's only a religious thing, because that's what Joey Davis thought. Joey Davis thought it was more important to be friends with the children than it was to run the school as an adult, as a leader, as a principal, as part of his job. He thought it's more important for me as a principal to be a child like the rest of the kids that I'm rooting for. Trisha Quintero is voting like a child and thinking like a child, because we have children around say, yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. No, you're not a parent. You don't understand how this eventually erodes the principles of an individual like a child, to where we begin to have these problems where children begin to realize, or not realize, where they begin to believe that they are something that they are not. And then you have these parents that are essentially children going, you're right. You can be a dog if you want to. You can be a cat. Oh, let's just, you're a boy and you think you're a girl. Let's just go have your penis cut off. Like, who? Only children think this way. And unfortunately, we have 3 of them on our school board. All right, my friends. So that's the end of part 1. That just I just want to lay a little bit of foundation to kind of get you started. That what we're dealing with when we're talking about these 3 people in relationship to Trisha Quintero, Marilyn Anderson, and Carrie Buck. These are people that are thinking along the lines of how children would think. We don't put children in charge of our school district for a reason. The school would maybe be an hour long. It would maybe begin at noon for some children that are allowed to sleep, till 11 o'clock. That is really crazy to me. But you can imagine what the schools would be like if we allowed children to run it. And El Dorado, for a long period of time, looked like a child was running it. That's why Joey Davis could not be the principal of El Dorado, because he ran it like a child. And it looks like the 3 trustees are right along with them, is that they are going to run the school district, as far as trustees go, in the manner of, well, what would the children do? Not what an adult would do. And so this is why we have to really pay attention to what's going on and fight against it. All right, so that's just part 1. Again, this is the foundation that will be laid for the other, maybe I think it's about 2 other parts. I think I can get it in 2 parts as we move forward. All right, my friends, that's it. We'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.